Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Jayden and Shane. Joining me here at Sound Peak Audio Development and Design in Topeka, Kansas is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
Had a week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And we have Jolka back this week. Jolka, how you doing?
It is a glorious day to not be at work and be here in the podcast.
Closer to the mic.
Yep. All right. So we will hop into it with our collar and elbow question. This is something Shane and I talked about doing last week. We are building a 12-man college football playoff style bracket of wrestlers who we think deserve it for 2024. This kind of ties into our end-of-year awards conversation, but it's a little bit more specific because we're trying to build it the way college football builds their playoff. So, Shane, do you have your list ready?
I believe so.
Okay, so for mine, I built mine like I assigned the big four conferences to wrestling companies. So WWE is my SEC, AEW is my Big 10, New Japan's my ACC, and TNA is my Big 12. Or no, I think I put that backwards. I did that backwards.
That's straight disrespectful to us in Mid-South country, by the way.
Sorry, New Japan is my Big 12, TNA was my ACC. I wrote that backwards. But yeah. I think I wrote it one way and then decided to change it later. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to go...
Let's go you first, then.
Go my first?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
We'll go like 1-1, 2-2.
Okay, so my number one seed, I think, is Cody Rhodes this
Yeah.
year. We're trying to keep it within kayfabe as well, so I think it's got to be Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, who was your one?
Cody Rhodes.
Okay. My number two, I'm gonna go Swerve Strickland as my Big Ten champion.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Actually, I'm gonna say probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did switch these because I think isn't Oregon technically the one? And
Yeah, but
I'd
probably put the we as like the Big Ten because of the history and everything. And
I don't know. I just kind of
I don't know.
I started with that, and then I think I moved a couple around just to kind of.
I'm biased because I'm from that Big Ten country, so obviously I'm gonna put Big Ten first.
Number 3, this is like my indie pick. I went with Mustafa Ali.
So you're really high on this year. I would pick him as like a TNA representative. Is what he spent most of the year in TNA. But seeing as they're doing everything to self-sabotage their own company right now.
Yeah.
My indie pick, because this is where Boise would probably be, right? For like top, just ring in, ring out, best indie wrestler of the year, Mascara Dorada. I mean, in CML pushing this indie, I'll put it as a power 5 for me.
So CML's kind of like a group of 5, I think.
I'd put him over TNA right now, but that's
right
fair.
now. But I think just overall,
yeah, I'll put him. I'll put Mascara at 3.
Mascara Dorada 3. Okay, so I guess because if we want to build one bracket together, I think I can concede Mascara Dorada. I'm not mad about that. So Mascara Dorada is our 3. 4, I went with Zack Sabre Jr.
That's fair.
As my New Japan rep.
That's fair.
What'd you do it for?
I was ZSJ. Yeah,
ZSJ there?
I was thinking about putting ZSJ at 3 over Mascara Dorada, but the kind of parallel real life with Boise being at 3. I went with the indie pick at 3.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I kind of based it off of that. So now we get into kind of our non-conference champions.
Yeah.
Number 5, I went Will Ospreay.
Number 5, I went with Gunther, but
okay, I have Gunther
Ospreay
6.
Okay, so I have Ospreay 6 though.
So which one do you want to put?
We'll just
keep it Ospreay 5.
Ospreay 5 because you gave me
Mascara Dorada. Okay,
so yeah,
we'll do Ospreay 5, Gunther 6. That works. So number 7, this is where I put John Moxley.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Fair.
I have an 8, but it's not a big deal.
8, I have back-to-back AEW picks here. I went Hangman 8.
I had Hangman like 9. I think this is where I had.
See, I have Priest.
Mello.
You have Mello there. I didn't put Mello in my top 12. I have Priest next.
That's fair. I think Priest has been really good. I can see Mello.
Yeah,
he's been very
in kayfabe. Yeah. I think Mello would have been more in this last year because he had like all the NXT title run and stuff. But this year, I think it kind of would fall to Damian Priest with the heavyweight title run and everything. Number 10, I went with Okada.
I didn't have him in top 12.
You have Okada in the top 12. Okay. Who would you put in instead if you're picking somebody from AEW here? Or I guess you could go another New Japan rep.
Okada, to put him as a college football team, he's the KU of this year. Really high expectations, I guess, right, from at least from their own fan base. High expectations, didn't live up to it. caught fire at the end. Dude,
I think more like an Alabama.
too little, too late. You know.
Yeah.
I would probably put.
Well, I guess we could put. I mean, I didn't have Carmelo on here. We could put Melo, but I would say probably somebody from AEW or New Japan here.
I would actually put like Naito on.
You want to put Naito there?
Yeah.
We put a Naito. Another New Japan pick.
Also, the world
And
champ
then
until
11 and 12 in real life. That's SMU and Clemson.
yeah.
So I went with 2 TNA picks here. 11. I put Jordan Grace. It's the only woman I put on the list.
I mean,
But she's had a phenomenal year.
barring the person they just hired back, she is the only women's wrestler I could see winning the world title in the TNA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give her that.
And then 12, I went with Nick Nemeth.
I disagree. I
No,
know he's been world champion, but I think
Like I said, I was trying to keep it within kayfabe, and I think he's
I
the quote unquote conference champion of TNA. Right,
he is the conference champion too, but he's not. He's like he's not winning it by a lot, you know.
Yeah, well, that's why Jordan Grace is ahead of him. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah, I would have put
Like Josh or Bailey.
probably Josh.
I mean, Bailey had X Division title reigns this year, so maybe
yeah,
Bailey.
but actually, I'll probably put Mike Bailey in over that because I think just from TNA's history, I value the X Division more in a world title usually because the X Division is usually a lot better.
Yeah,
So,
I think. I don't know. But
I'll
it's
give
the
you-
world title. You know what I mean? Like it's still
yeah,
technically
but it's
more
TNA. It's
important.
different. But
Okay.
I can give you Nemeth if you want to put Nemeth on.
Should we do Mike Bailey or should we do Nick Nemeth? I'm trying to decide. Because I get your argument, but like I put the other like primary world champions of the year from the other companies in there, so I feel like Nick Nemeth, throw him his flowers.
I
You know what
guess.
I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, he was good in other indies and stuff. He had a good out of conference schedule.
Listen, he ruled my Bullet Club stable, my TW stay for a while until literally everybody in my company kind of overshadowed him. Like Mike Bailey's passed him in my company now. What
So
called Manders is over in my company now.
So our 4 buys are Cody Rhodes, Swerve Strickland, Mascara Dorado, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Our 5-12 matchup would be Will Ospreay, Nick Nemeth.
Okay.
Our 6-11 matchup would be Gunther, Jordan Grace. Insane.
That'd be a good match actually.
7-10 is Moxley, Naito. Rematch from earlier this year.
That'd be our Indiana.
Yeah, our Indiana, Notre Dame or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah. And then our 8-9 is Hangman and Priest. Little old school ROH action. Little oldish school.
Old school.
Oldish school now. I mean, it's kind of retro now.
Yeah.
What was that? It was like 9 years ago. They were both in ROH.
9? No, it's like last time they were both in ours was like 2018-19, man.
It was
5 years ago.
when was Punishment Martinez last in there? Because wasn't he already in
2017-18.
2017? Okay, so it's like 7 years ago. That's still a little throwback. All right, I like that. We'll see. I think it'll be fun to like actually now that we've assigned them to teams, like come back and see like
Come back when Cody wins the whole thing.
Maybe we'll see. Not much news of the week. TNA is apparently going to get rid of the X Division title. Kind of crazy. I think I said to you last night that's like if the NBA got rid of the 3-point line, but I think a better comparison is like if MLB got rid of home runs. Like it's the one thing people are watching for.
The 3-point line is 6 sides. It wasn't there when it started, but it came in. It was really cool. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, this is like if the MLB got rid of home runs.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing that people watch your product
it's
for.
It's worse than the 3-point line.
Yeah.
It's a worse move than the 3-point line is. So.
Like, was there any other? You kind of mentioned it. Tessa Blanchard showed up.
Tessa Blanchard was hired out of TNA. It is the dumbest business decision they could have ever possibly
noted
made.
locker room cancer. Tessa
Locker
Blanchard.
room cancer, racist, cheater on her husband,
Yep.
who almost threw away his career to have to support her.
Worked for AAA.
Worked
which
for
is
AAA.
also
Held up
problematic.
held up the world title for money.
Refused to give up the world title. Yeah. So just nothing but problems with Tessa Blanchard in the past, and now they brought her back. We aren't going to go. They have a show in Missouri next year. We aren't going to go to that anymore
Unless they fire
her by
Tessa
then.
Blanchard, or we go to hold up like Tyson Tomko is better than Tessa Signs, something like that.
Yeah.
Big Tomko fans over here.
Any other non-GCW news that was pretty big this week that you'd want to hit on?
I feel like the biggest news.
Normally I have this all listed out, but Fightful's servers went down, and that's like my only trusted source.
The biggest news of the week is from GCW.
Yeah, the biggest news of the week from GCW, which we'll get to in your GCW corner. But we did go to a show this week.
We did.
We went to Dynamite / Rampage / part of a Ring of Honor taping.
Randomly.
Yeah. So main Dynamite, we saw Pac and Mox versus JY and OC.
Pretty good match.
And something I was thinking about looking back on this, obviously, no injury is good. But the timing of Juice and the Guns getting hurt has really helped Jay White's like babyface presentation. Because he's in a corner now.
Yeah.
All of his allies are gone. So he's having to team up with like Orange Cassidy, a guy who previously he probably would have just, Blade Runnered the hell out of and then walked away fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's really helping with his babyface presentation to lose his allies like that. We also saw a couple of C2 matches. Ospreay versus Castagnoli was awesome. I mean, Ospreay live is it's like he pulled out a Sasuke special in the first like 12 seconds of the match.
Just
insane.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then Ricochet, Brody King, and in the building, way more Brody King fans than Ricochet fans, except for that one kid.
That one kid
like
who was
8
going
rows behind us.
Was literally going to kill himself if Ricochet lost.
This kid was screaming for Ricochet for the whole 12, 15 minutes of the match, however long the match goes.
At the top of his lungs, like Ricochet. You could hear him. You could hear his vocal fry every time he screamed.
Yeah, it was insane. But kids love Ricochet, I guess. I was rooting for Ricochet. It was like me and him were the only two people in the building rooting for Ricochet.
Just you and him, and
everybody else was there for Brody King. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, which I feel like the crowd didn't react too well, but I was really locked in. I really loved that match.
It's a story.
Yeah, I really liked it. And then, of course, we had Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. Great match. Fans really got into that one. And then the Tony Storm return, which was awesome.
Yes.
I do have something I want to point out here. Sean Ross Sapp theorized this online. What if this is timeless Tony Storm playing the part of rocker Tony Storm?
It's either that or she legitimately has lost all the memory of AEW.
Yeah, that is true because she thinks she's debuting in AEW. She doesn't remember anything of the past.
We should have taken that as a point value. We should treat this as her debut.
We should have stayed in kayfabe. But so here's what I see happening. Right, she's gonna fight her way up the rankings. She's going to end up face-to-face with Mariah May, and it's all going to come back and break. Mariah May is going to be the key to just her completely falling apart.
Luther is going to show up, and everything's going to die.
Luther is going to descend from the rafters in his white tuxedo.
Holding Serpentico like a baby.
Is Serpentico one of those baby chest things? We did see Serpentico and Fuego del Sol on the dark match.
Cool. I like Fuego.
Fuego was a really cool pop. We saw Shaza McKenzie on Rampage. Cool. I like the tag match on Rampage. The Powerhouse Hobbs, Mark Davis. It wasn't Tash. It was Lance Archer and Kyle Fletcher.
It was actually really surprising how even in our Rampage taping how booed Don Callis gets.
Oh yeah, way booed. Even though people don't even really care about Rampage. We were barely paying attention to Rampage. We were joking about Time Cop.
We didn't even get to do our favorite bit with this time with the calling him Cyrus.
Oh yeah, we did yell Cyrus a couple times.
It wasn't as funny as the first time it went.
Yeah,
the first time it went, I pulled that out of the bag and people loved it.
What else? We the Ring of Honor thing we saw. We saw the contract signing with Jericho and Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
That was, and then Cardona wrestled Brian Keith, which was really cool.
My friends that we went to their row with, they said that they're concerned if it's gone past a bit, or if I'm just that dedicated to the bit.
With Jericho?
With Cardona.
Oh,
I will say it is a bit. It is me committing to a bit because the GCW guy obviously a low.
Yeah, that is true. Small GCW chance win
from us.
Well, from us, there were a few other people. There were a few other people who got in on it. Anything else from Dynamite worth pointing out? I mean, it was a pretty good show overall. I feel like St. Louis got a better show with Collision.
Yeah, St. Louis definitely did. But I think that finding out what that TK shit movie is Time Cop was really funny.
Yeah, TK coming out and then I watched it. Kind of a cool movie, actually. It kind of fucks.
During Rampage, it's Rampage. They constantly care about Rampage. We looked up Time Cop 2.
Yeah, there's a Time Cop 2 even.
It's like
that seems to have nothing to do with the original.
The Berlin decision.
Yeah. But yeah, anything else from Dynamite?
I think it's up.
All right, so then we will go on. Saturday night's main event happened this weekend. Did you watch it, Jolka?
Oh, absolutely.
I guess we can run down the card match by
Not
match.
enough Jesse Ventura.
Not nearly enough Jesse Ventura.
No.
He should have been on the mic the entire time.
Not on the camera, though. It was cool to see him, but when he tried to walk, you could tell that.
Not the same guy.
Yeah, it's about 3 steps per step for him.
Yeah. I love that he claims to have turned Damien, Jake the Snake into a jacket.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Also, I loved all the legends that they showed. Tito Santana was there. Greg Valentine. Coco Beware was the one. I popped for Coco. That was cool.
Jimmy Hart was mine.
Jimmy Hart was there, yeah. And then the first match of the night, Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. What'd you guys think of that?
It was a pretty good match.
That was a really good match.
I'll be considered, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It seemed like more of a Raw match than like a PLE match, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think that's what they were going for the night.
Yeah, it's weird because Saturday night's main event's going to exist in this middle ground where it's not technically a pay-per-view, but it's also like bigger than just any random Raw or SmackDown.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it is going to be like this half pay-per-view feel, half Raw feel.
if you sprinkled a couple of promos on there, I think it'd be a perfect TV episode.
Yeah. I like that Drew apparently, because I saw from like the social media clip where you see him walking back through the gorilla, it's like one down, many more to go. Like he's going to be like a bloodline hunter. Like he's just going to be taking out bloodline members.
Like Yoshi Tatsu?
Yeah, like Billy Gunn with the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
He beat him
I really
clean.
like this match. This was one of the better matches of the night for me. I gave it 3 3/4. I thought it was a great match. Yeah.
I like that he beat him clean.
Mm-hmm. Also, one note on the Saturday night's main event presentation: I hate that they kept the LED barricades in like the LED ring.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of the LEDs. You got to give me those because the entranceway had the old school like they were like bars.
Yeah, the
barricades,
railings,
like the metal ones. You got to keep those all the way around.
Yep.
You got to get rid of all this technology stuff. Like nobody wants that. You can keep your prime hydration station,
Right.
but get rid of all the other futuristic stuff. Give me 80. Like I even talked about on the pod last week. I wanted them to put like an 80s like a VHS like filter over the show.
That would have been cool.
Drag the 80s cameras out, make us go watch it on closed circuit, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I like they had the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, I like the ropes. I like the entranceway. It was just like a couple more tweaks that could have made it a little bit more Saturday night's main event-y.
Right.
Liv Morgan and Io Sky was our next match. Worst match of the night, but that being said, still pretty good for me. I was really hoping Io would win. I thought this would be a good time to put the title on Io.
I think you were expecting too much from the show from the predictions standpoint.
Yeah, I was. Shane, you went 4 for 4 in predictions, though. The only match we didn't predict was the U.S. title match because when we did our predictions, we didn't know who was in it.
I would have went 5 or 5. That's the worst part.
You would pick Chelsea?
Of course.
Yeah, I think if we did it last week, I probably would have picked Bayley because I wanted Chelsea to win. We'll get to it more later. But I just kind of thought they were going to put it on Bayley.
Right.
So that when Bayley goes into the Hall of Fame, they can be like, X-time women's champion, X-time women's tag champion, the first women's U.S. champion, stuff like that. But the Liv Io match, pretty good. Seems like we're going to go back to Liv Rhea.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully that's over soon.
Not soon enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of the Liv Rhea. I think
I'm tired of Liv. I'm so tired of Liv.
Yeah? What do you think?
I'm not. I love Liv, but the Rhea angle is getting really old.
Mm-hmm. And I did talk about this last week. When I went to Raw, Rhea was so over. Like I've seen Cena, I've seen The Undertaker, I've seen Kenny Omega, I've seen like all these names. I've seen Bryan Danielson. Nobody has got a reaction that I've been at live the way that the people reacted to Rhea. We also saw Cody Rhodes in a surprise dark match on that Raw. And
nice.
He didn't get the reaction that Rhea Ripley got. She is so insanely over.
I seriously hope she's there when I go in like
Yeah, because you're going to a house show, right, in Chicago?
almost like 28th, 9th, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that she's there. That's why I want to experience that. But I mean, 'cause I want to compare it to my scale of like Punk 2011 and then Surprise Undertaker 2017.
Yeah, I mean, you've also seen like you went to WrestleMania where like The Rock was there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's the points.
You went to WrestleMania?
Yeah,
You went to 28, yeah.
Oh, man. That's something I always wanted to do.
Yep. Next up, we have Gunther, Finn Balor, Damian Priest.
This is
Triple threat heavyweight
my
title.
match of the night, personally.
Second for me, barely behind the WWE title match, and then just barely ahead Sammy and Drew. I also gave this 3 3/4. I gave 3 to Liv in EO. Yeah, that was just a pretty good match. It kind of advances this story. Gunther seeming to get some confidence back, so maybe he'll finally beat Damian clean.
He powerbombed the crap out of Finn Balor.
He did. There were some stiff power bombs and stuff in this one.
I texted you that the spot the stairs.
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, I thought it was going to go out of the driver room right in the stairs.
Yep.
But as you said, that's too cool for the Fed.
Yep.
So
Yep. So I thought that was pretty good. Gunther winning, kind of expected. Interested to see where this goes next.
I really thought when he was pulling that cap off of his head that he was going to have his face paint on there and surprise everybody.
That'd be kind of cool for Saturday night's main event. It'd be cool if it was kind of like Ultimate Warrior-y, you know what I mean?
Right.
More like kind of throwback or like Legion of Doom kind of, or Demolition, something like that. Something more throwback.
I think Legion of Doom has had the best face paint.
That is a pretty great one. And then as we kind of talked about already, Chelsea Green defeats Mia Yim, wins the Women's United States Championship, the first ever Women's U.S. Champion. What do you guys think?
she's really over right now, so it does make sense.
It was a good match, too.
She deserves it.
Oh, definitely.
She definitely deserves it.
She's been one of the most entertaining.
Her gear was really good. I love her gear.
It was so, having your own face all over your gear is so funny. I loved that so much.
And I liked how they not so suddenly mentioned TNA twice during
yeah, they
that
did,
match.
because both of them have been TNA Knockouts champion, which I didn't know Mia Yim ever was TNA Knockouts champion. I vaguely knew that she was in TNA for a time.
2016
But, like,
TNA is a weird place.
But like every wrestler you can think of
Yeah.
has been like on the indies in the last 20 years, ended up in TNA at some point.
2016 TNA is weird. I think it's when they brought back Six Sides.
Yeah.
And
like,
they got rid of it again.
yeah, there's just a ridiculous amount. Like El Generico showed up in TNA one time. Okada was in TNA
Punk,
for a time.
Naito had a
Punk,
little run.
Like just anybody you could think of has like shown up in TNA at some point. So I knew Mia Yim had been there. I just didn't know she was. Yeah, Desmond Wolf. I didn't know that she had been champion. And then the main event, the match that I think most should have been a title change: Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And great match, 4 stars from me. I thought it was a match of the night. Kind of disappointing that like the big angle afterwards happened off air. You had to see it on social media.
I fully agree.
Like that should have been. Kevin Owens hits the package pile driver, a banned move in WWE, and a move that he did in Ring of Honor and all over the Indies, PWG a ton.
If it's shown on TV, we're still talking about it like from the top. That's the first thing we're talking about probably.
So I feel like Kevin Owens should have won this, dude. I think it would have been a good time to. And also, like, here's the thing: is like Saturday night's main event. You don't want this to fall into what AEW has let Battle of the Belts be, right? If you're going to do this as a quarterly show, real stuff needs to happen. And what's like the most real thing you could do for the first one would have been your biggest title changing hands.
Right.
So, like, I really feel like Kevin Owens should have. But it seems like they wrote off Cody for at least a couple of weeks, right? So I think KO, he stole the Winged Eagle belt at the end. He should just be carrying the Winged Eagle around at SmackDown, calling himself the rightful champion.
Really?
That's what I think he should do. Because Cody sort of cheated. He did the crossroads on the chair.
Right.
Like, it would be like Kevin Owens just being like, yeah, I'm the champion. This is my belt. I am champion.
That was great seeing the Winged Eagle. I love the Winged Eagle belt.
That is a beautiful belt.
The big Eagle's better.
It's way better than any other WWE title in history. Is way better than that big yellow abomination that he usually carries around.
Now, did that belt look like a replica to you guys? Because it didn't
Because
seem
they don't
like...
know where the real belt is.
What's that?
They don't know where the real belt is. They have no idea where it went.
Oh.
So
Yeah, but it
was
feels
a
like
replica.
they
Had to
could have
be.
got like a real belt maker to make a version. This felt like a WWE shop replica.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What did you expect from WWE? They probably just had one laying around the merch booth, and they just said, "I'll grab it. We'll do it."
I don't know. So yeah, ultimately as a show, a little disappointing. I think I expected more. I expected something big for the first one back, but maybe this is just going to be a third TV show once a quarter. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be slightly bigger, but nothing spectacular will really happen.
I was pretty disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Because I stayed up to watch that because I get up at 4 or 5 o'clock every morning, and that cut into my sleep time, and it just wasted it for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could have watched this tomorrow.
Yeah. Shane, your thoughts overall on Saturday Night's Main Event?
I thought it was just an okay show overall.
Yeah.
There's a TV show. What to do?
Yep. Let's go into Shane. Let's do some quick predictions for Final Battle. This will be our last predictions of the year. We don't got anything else because we're not doing an episode next week, so we won't be able to really predict World's End. So this will be our last predictions of the year. Final Battle.
Jolka could pick them too. You know, it's
I'm going to come in next week and just set up everything. And be like, this is a hot dog and a handshake podcast. I have stolen it for this week.
A rogue episode.
Tonight is all about WWE.
Specifically WWE in 1995.
Right?
Let's talk Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. I'll be on the episode.
I love Psycho Sid. That Survivor Series match with Shawn Michaels is legendary.
Yep. All right, so Shane, we got a few matches here for Ring of Honor Final Battle. First, we have Jay Lethal versus QT Marshall.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen though, right?
Big Boom AJ.
Boom.
I'm gonna go Jay Lethal winning. It's like his home.
Yeah,
promotion.
I'll be too.
And then we have Red Velvet defending the women's television title against Layla Hirsch.
I think it's time for her to win it.
Oh, you're gonna I picked Red Velvet only because I'm picking a couple title changes later. So I went Red Velvet to retain. You want to flip a coin for the Ring of Honor TV title, whatever, Survival of the Fittest, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
It's six guys here. We got Brian Cage, the champion, defending against Willie Mack, AR Fox, Commander, Blake Christian, and Mark Davis.
So I guess.
I'm gonna go with heads.
Oh.
Did you win one finally?
I won one again. Let's go.
Right.
I'm on a roll
So
with
Cage, Mack, Fox, Commander, Christian, Davis, Blake Christian, not Cool Christian.
I'm gonna go with Mark Davis first.
Mark Davis first. That's a good pick because of like the storyline they're currently running with everything. I'll go Brian Cage just to retain for my first pick, just kind of the safe pick, I think.
I'm gonna go Willie back because pulling him would make sense if they were going to put a tail on him.
Oh yeah, because they did pull him from a GCW show. Give me Commander. I think that's the most fun option for a random Commander win. So that leaves you with AR Fox and Blake Christian. I think I have a feeling where you're going to go.
Jane, let me ask you. Are you vanilla, baby?
Are you going to pick Blake Christian?
No, I'm picking Blair Fox.
You're picking AR Fox.
That's why I'm asking you.
That's
why
I'm
I'm asking you. For
I
vanilla.
guess I have to be. Because you took AR Fox. All right, so you got Davis, Mack, and Fox. I got Cage, Commander, and Blake Christian. Sons of Texas versus the Righteous in a double bull rope match. I'm picking the Righteous upset win.
Why are the Rangers keep? So it's gonna be Dustin. And
You're gonna go with
it is
Dustin.
it is a little
Dustin and
laggy.
Sammy. Yeah.
Man, he should cut ties with right now.
Yep. We got Chris Jericho versus Matt Cardona for the Ring of Honor title.
I'm gonna be real. We'll talk about it in GCW corner, but this match to me just got opened up.
I'm picking Jericho. I don't see that.
I
winning the Ring of Honor
want it to be
title.
Cardona. I think it'd be awesome if it was
I
Cardona.
also want it to be Cardona. I just don't
But
think it's
I'm
gonna
gonna go with Jericho too. Yeah.
happen. Okay.
Ooh,
And then
that's on recording. I'm going to clip that, and we're going to insert that random points next year. I
We're
go
going to
with
insert
Jericho.
it in 2 weeks when Matt Cardona wins. And then we got Athena versus Billy Starks for the Ring of Honor Women's title.
It's time.
It's time. I'm going
time.
Billy. It's Billy time. I like it too. So there it is. That's our last predictions. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the 2024 Doggies. This is our end of year award show. So we have a bunch of different awards to go through here. Let me see the total. 25 in total.
So many.
Covering all kinds of things. So we'll go through. I'll go through the nominees. We'll each make our pick, and then we'll just keep moving forward. As always, we're going to start with event of the year. What was the best show this year? Our nominees are, if I can open the right sheet here, we have All In from AEW, AEW All Out, WWE WrestleMania 40, AEW Double or Nothing, AEW Wrestle Dream, WWE Backlash, and NJPW Wrestle Kingdom 18. So, Jolka, we'll open with you. What was event of the year for you?
Can you say those one more time?
All In, All Out, WrestleMania, Double or Nothing, Wrestle Dream, Backlash, Wrestle Kingdom.
All Out was that nasty cage match,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I'm going to go with All Out.
All Out.
I enjoyed that show.
Surprise AEW pick out of the gate from Jolka.
Right.
I kind of thought you'd go WrestleMania.
No, that show really had me entertained the whole time.
You
Yeah,
should watch more AEW.
That was a great show. Shane, what was your event of the year?
All Out.
All Out? For me, I had to go purely statistically. I gave All In the second highest stars per match that I've ever given any show. It's actually tied with WrestleMania Night 2, but because Night 1 was a little bit worse, I gave All In the award. So my pick is All In. I'm gonna go with All In. We also had a public vote here that we put out. So who won event of the year in that vote, Shane?
AEW All In won the fan
All In
vote.
won. So it's pretty 50-50 between All In and All
close.
Out. Really interesting about that is that those events happened 2 weeks apart. So it's crazy for All Out to have been such in the conversation.
Are you like the Nostradamus of wrestling because all your predictions usually come true?
I am pretty good with predictions. I've been studying this for quite some time.
he's a scholar, you know.
Yep. So yeah, kind of interesting. All In, All Out. So we'll see. Next up, we have our Indie Wrestler of the Year award. This is for the best wrestler not signed to a major promotion, which we define as AEW/ROH, WWE, and New Japan. So anybody not signed to those three promotions. Our nominees for this award.
So TNA counts.
TNA counts. CMLL counts. GCW. So our nominees are Michael Oku, primarily of Rev Pro over in the UK. Mystico and Mascara Dorada, who are both CMLL luchadors. Mike Bailey, Josh Alexander, Nick Nemeth from TNA, Mance Warner from GCW, and then Mustafa Ali from many promotions, but primarily TNA, and then very occasionally New Japan, so he still counts for indie because he wasn't really like a signed New Japan guy. For this one, we will go Shane first. Shane, who is your indie wrestler of the year?
I'll be Mance Warner.
You're going to go Mance Warner?
I'll be Mance Warner.
It's a very Shane pick right off the back there. I'm going to go with Mustafa Ali. We kind of talked about him at the top of the show. I think he had a great run this year. He went all over the place. His match with Amazing Red, WrestleMania weekend, was very good. He had great stuff in New Japan with Hiromu Takahashi. So I'm going to go Mustafa Ali. I really respected his run this year. Jolka, do you have a pick here? What do you got?
I'm going to go with Mustafa Ali. I really like him. He's great in the ring. And everybody else on the list has not come across my screen yet.
That's
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
That is actually kind of a good marker, especially online. I think Mustafa Ali made the most noise. Like, I think he reached the most people with his marketing. He really marketed himself well.
You guys could have secretly punched down on Riddle by putting him on that list because he was an indie wrestler most of the year. I think he's with TNA now.
Maybe.
Yeah, you forgot Ziggler and Sin Cara on that list. On that list, though.
Oh, Ziggler's on that
Nick
list?
Nemeth is Dolph Ziggler.
I'm going to change my... I'm going to give a fist bump to Shane here, and I'm going to change mine to Dolph Ziggler's new name.
Yeah, Nick Nemeth. That's his.
Not Sin Cara?
No.
He's good again. He's good again. So
he's great.
He's good again.
Great.
Oh, he's good again?
Yeah. Shane, what was the public vote on Indie Wrestler of the Year?
Public vote for Wrestler of the Year, Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, interesting. All right. So
not Sin Cara?
All four different
I would have been a big fan of Sin Cara won this one, I'll be honest. Yep. Mystico's great.
All right. Next up, we're going to go with our Most Improved Award. This goes to the wrestler, or in the past, we've thrown in tag teams. That made the biggest jump this year. This is specifically different than our Breakout Star Award, which we'll get to later. Breakout Star is more of a Rookie of the Year, but not technically a rookie. Most Improved is, a jump. Somebody who was already big last year. Already big last year, made a jump this year. So our Most Improved nominees, we have Obafemi from NXT, AEW's Kyle Fletcher. From New Japan, we have Yota Tsuji. From WWE, we have Chelsea Green, Gabe Kidd from New Japan, Anna Jay from AEW, and of course had a great Stardom run. Daniel Garcia from AEW and Tony D'Angelo from NXT. For this one, I'll go first here for Most Improved. I went Obafemi. I think he really burst on the scene last year, but really solidified himself as a top player this year, and a guy who we all. I mean, he went from a guy who we kind of vaguely knew about in NXT at this point last year to a guy who we're all already fantasy booking onto the main roster. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with Obafemi. Jolka, what's your pick? Most Improved.
All right. I'm going to try to say this right. Chelsea Green. She just made history the other night by getting the U.S. title.
I'm the expert here. Chelsea Green. That
was way better.
You gotta get the.
So yeah, Chelsea Green, great pick. She has had an incredible year. And when we talked about the nominees last week, she's the one in this category that I think is most here off the back of character work and storytelling versus just in-ring improvement. Like, she was already good at that, but it feels like she hit a new stride with her character and everything. Shane, who's your pick?
My pick is Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Garcia? Hey,
I know I'm a big Yota Tsuji guy, obviously, but what a year he's had.
Yeah, he went from he had one win in the Continental Classic last year, and this year he entered it as TNT champion. So yeah, that is a big jump, and he's been incredible this year. Really great. I think his promos have improved a lot this year too. Really found himself behind the mic.
He's really he's jumped from that level. He's he's bounced from that mid card, upper mid card.
Yeah, he's a real player in AEW now. Our next award is the public vote. What was the public vote on most improved?
Your favorite, Gabriel Kidd.
It's fair. Here's the thing. Every time we talk about him, and you talk about how much I hate him, I really just hate his character. He's incredible in the ring, and I can admit that. That's a fine pick. On to Pure Wrestler of the Year. This goes to the best technical wrestler that we saw this year. Nominees here are Zack Sabre Jr., Bryan Danielson, Chad Gable, Roderick Strong, Daniel Garcia, Gunther, and a pick put in here by Shane, Fuminori Abe. We'll go with Jolka. Who did you think was the Pure Wrestler of the Year?
Can you do that list one more time?
Yeah, I can. Nominees. Zack Sabre Jr., Bryan Danielson, Chad Gable, Roderick Strong, Daniel Garcia, Gunther, and Fuminori Abe.
Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong.
He has been come on.
He's been, the Messiah of the Backbreaker has had an incredible year.
He was on them Backbreakers just oh, dude, he's so good at that move. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's had a great year. International champion for a time there. Really been
has
involved.
Made the most of about the Undisputed Elite, really.
Yeah, they made the most of that Undisputed Kingdom thing that kind of just fell apart because of injury. So that's fair. Shane, who was your pick for Pure Wrestling?
ZSJ.
Zack Sabre Jr. Here's what I'm going to say with mine. Honestly, I probably should give it to Zack Sabre Jr. But there's a certain guy that I've given this award 2 years in a row. And this year's probably the last year I can give it to him. So I'm going to give it to Bryan Danielson as a career achievement in technical wrestling. And I'll give him the three-peat. I've picked him in this award 3 years in a row now. and it's the last time I could probably pick him. So I'm going to go Bryan Danielson, one of my favorites. He still had an incredible year, especially that final countdown run. So what was the public vote?
A tie between ZSJ and Danielson.
Okay, absolutely fair. Next up is, I kind of already previewed this, the Breakout Star Award. This is sort of our Rookie of the Year, except it's not people who are technically rookies, because most people's rookie years in wrestling we don't hear about. You know what I mean? It's more about breaking out. Our nominees, we have Hologram, The Beast Mortos, Javon Evans, Mascara Dorada 2, the one currently tearing it up in CMLL, Brian Keith, Mariah May, Jake Lee, and Stephanie Vaquer. Let's see. I completely skipped a couple of words here, but whatever. We'll just move it around. Shane, who is your breakout star?
Got the mask, but Mascara Dorada.
Mascara Dorada.
Yeah, I was gonna bring the hologram mask as like a fake out.
Oh, yes. Shane did buy a $60 hologram mask at the AEW show. So you went with Mascara Dorada?
Yep.
I also went Mascara Dorada. I think he made a lot of noise in CMLL, and so I think he was he's a great pick. He really hopped on the scene. Who'd you go with?
I'm gonna go with same as you guys.
You got Mascara Dorada?
Yep. So Shane got his money's worth.
I appreciate it. It wasn't even my money, so it was not a big of a deal.
It wasn't even my money.
So then next up we have the Broadcaster of the Year award. This goes to the best commentator, interviewer, ring announcer. It could be, even if someone had a great year as like a pre-show panelist, whatever, just the people who are on the mic a lot but aren't wrestlers. So just kind of to recognize their place. But not podcasters. Broadcasters. Our nominees are Nigel McGuinness, Excalibur, Michael Cole, Samantha Irvin, Kathy Kelly, Renee Paquette, Joe Tessitore, and Dave Prazak. For this one, I'm going to go first. And I gave it to Samantha Irvin. I think nobody got the fans talking as much as Samantha Irvin from as far as non-wrestlers this year. So I'm going to go Samantha Irvin as my broadcaster of the year. Next, Jolka, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the guy who is undefeated at WrestleMania, Michael Cole.
Great pick. You can always pick Cole.
It's no contest, technically.
Yeah. What's
Joe Tessitore?
Joe Tessitore.
I mean,
he had a great run.
The way that he's bounced from not wrestling from I guess technically a scripted show of Holy Moly, commentating that to wrestling has been amazing.
Yeah, he did so good that we almost put him in the breakout star category with all those wrestlers. Like he just had such a breakout as a commentator. So that's fair. I really like that. Next award, we have the Mic Work Award. This goes to... sorry. I forgot again. This is the first year we're doing this, so I keep forgetting to throw to the public vote. What do we got here?
The first time of many, he'll be in reference tonight, Nigel McGuinness.
That's fair. That's fair. Nigel had a great year. Okay. Now on to the Mic Work Award. The best talker, promos, interviews, whatnot, as far as wrestlers go. So, nominees here. The first 5 guys are pretty much always going to be in it. In the conversation, we got CM Punk, Zack Sabre Jr., Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Jon Moxley. They're always in there. Bryan Danielson, we think had a great year this year. Mariah May and Willow Nightingale. So for the Mic Work Award, Jolka, who is your pick?
Oh, that's easy. That's Kevin Owens.
You go Kevin Owens. He has been great as always. Next up, Shane, who is your Mic Work Award winner?
CM Punk.
CM Punk. I also went with CM Punk specifically because he, on the mic, carried a whole storyline throughout an injury. He would just showed up and did promos for months on end and just continued to carry the storyline without ever actually getting in the ring. And I thought that was just a really impressive run as far as being on the mic. So that's why I gave it to CM Punk. But Kevin Owens also a great pick. Shane, who we got for the public vote?
Kind of surprising given who I shared it with. CM Punk.
CM Punk. Fair. I mean, he had a great year. Next, we have the Mid-Carder of the Year award. This goes to the best wrestler who primarily wrestled in the mid-card this year. Some of these guys will have jumped up to the main event a little bit. Some of them will... Jolka nearly fell out of a chair.
Jolka loves the mid-card, baby.
Jolka got very excited about the mid-card. This is one of our new awards this year. Our nominees are Braun Breaker, Obafemi, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, Kalani Jordan, Roderick Strong, Jack Perry, and Shingo Takagi. For this one, let's see. Shane, you go first. Who do you got for Mid-Carder of the Year?
Well, let me talk to you. Yeah.
All right, LA Knight. I went the other side of the WWE coin here. I went Braun Breaker. Just kept making waves.
It was between those two for me, so.
Awesome year, Intercontinental Champion. The whole shebang. Jolka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's fair. He's a great year. He had a great year. I'm absolutely, that's a great pick.
I feel like we've just devolved into Yaz multiple times over the years, so.
Yeah, we have. We definitely have.
I never thought anyone besides Steve Austin would get the one word like that.
Yeah. It's been Steve Austin with what?
I didn't think there was another one.
Daniel Bryan with yes.
Yeah.
But usually that came in threes. That came in yes. So
we need to get somebody with why.
Daniel Bryan's did the no, too.
Daniel Bryan had no also. Mid-card of the year, public vote.
Jack Perry.
Oh, interesting.
Which is not surprising based on what I shared it with, but.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Next up, we have the OMG Moment of the Year. This goes to the most shocking, unbelievable, WTF moment of the year. Something that just made you go, what is happening? The nominees for this are the Darby Allin glass spot when he jumped off that ladder through that plane of glass at Revolution. WWE working with TNA. John Cena's surprise retirement announcement at Money in the Bank. The Swerve Hangman syringe spot. We probably could have picked 4 spots from that match, but I think we went with the syringe as the craziest. Nigel McGuinness returns at All In. And The Undertaker popping up in the main event of WrestleMania. I'm going to go first on this one. I went with the Darby Allin glass spot. He had it wrapped up. As soon as he did it, I was like, yeah, that's going to be my OMG moment of the year. There's nothing could beat that, and nothing did. It was just ridiculous. The way that the blood just immediately pooled off of his back was just so insane to watch. So yeah, I'm going with Darby Allin's glass spot. Jolka, what's your pick? Undertaker.
I was seriously debating between that and the one I picked.
All right, what did you pick?
Hangman putting a syringe through Swerve's cheek on a pay-per-view for a big company.
Yeah,
that was pretty gross. I'm like, oh.
Like, I watched enough CCW to be okay with it, but seeing that on AEW, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, seeing that in what were they?
In
the
United Center?
Yeah.
Rodman,
seeing that in the place where the Bulls play.
Pippen to Rodman to Jordan, syringe in the cheek.
Yeah. What was the public vote on the OMG Moment of the Year?
For the second time of many, today, Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah, fair. That's where we've went the last couple years. We went with returns there. Punk. Well, I did Punk return and the Cody return. You went Punk return and Cody's pec. Which was also, what was grosser, the syringe or Cody's torn pec a couple years ago?
Cody's torn pec.
The syringe.
You think the syringe?
By far.
I'm with Cody's.
I hate needles like that.
Okay, I guess that's fair. If you got a needle thing, I could see that. Yeah.
I watched it. It's like, oh, not the face.
I mean, there's an XPW spot that's even worse that I will not mention because I'm not giving them any advertising.
All right.
That's a good match if you can make me wince.
Yeah. Any match that can make you feel that's the extreme
point.
Like that is great.
That's the point of that match. And then when the cop collar on the cement block.
The cinder block?
Yeah, cinder block. That was supposed to make you go, oh, Jesus.
They went Count Dracula with a stake.
Oh, yeah, there was the wooden stake.
I thought Hangman might kill him.
Yeah. That wasn't there a spot in that where someone landed really awkwardly on a chair, too?
Yes.
It was just,
Yes.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I hope it's doing a gusset plate, maybe some light tubes next time.
Yeah. On to International Wrestler of the Year. This is the best wrestler to wrestle primarily for a non-U.S. promotion. So CMLL, Rev Pro, New Japan, Noah, anything in there. Our nominees for International Wrestler of the Year, if I can find it. Here it is. Zack Sabre Jr., Mystico, formerly Sin Cara, Kaito Kiyomiya, Michael Oku, Shingo Takagi, Mascara Dorada, and Tetsuya Naito. For this one, Jolka, you got who would you pick here?
Tetsuya Naito.
Tetsuya Naito.
I like saying his name.
Shane likes that pick.
That's my goat.
Next up, let's see who Shane. Who's your?
It was tough because Mystico had a good year, Naito had a great year, but ZSJ just that next level,
Same for me. The G1 run, the winning the world title over New Japan. Zack Sabre Jr. just had an incredible year. Winning the world title and then immediately going over to England and defending the world title in his home country. Public vote for
also ZSJ.
Also ZSJ. All right. Next award, we have the Terry Funk Memorial Old Timer of the Year Award. This goes to
say that whole thing one more time.
The Terry Funk Memorial Old Timer of the Year Award.
God damn it, Foley!
This goes to the best wrestler 50 years old or older. Our nominees here are Jeff Jarrett, Adam Copeland, R-Truth, Christian Cage, Dustin Rhodes, and Yuji Nagata.
Blue Steel, Blue Justice, baby.
So for this one, Shane, I'll give you you got the first pick here. Who is the Terry Funk Memorial Old Timer of the Year?
It's his world. Bree Woo, Jeff, Jeff, haha, Jarret.
I'll be honest, he was a close second. The promo in the Owen Hart Cup, his whole run after that, the story with Hangman.
It was
Incredible.
It was a bit for me last year.
Yeah,
it was like a joke thing. I was a big fan of him. This year it's different.
Yeah, really, really great year this year. I ended up going with Christian Cage. I thought he had just an incredible year, character-wise, in the ring. The match with Swerve was awesome. Everything he's done's been gold this year, so I went with Christian Cage. Joka, who was your old timer of the year?
I got to hear those one more time because there were so many good suggestions in there.
We have Jeff Jarrett, Adam Copeland, R-Truth, Christian Cage, Dustin Rhodes, and Yuji Nagata.
Dustin Rhodes.
He had a great year too. Ring of Honor tag and Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champion. Did some fun stuff on AEW TV as well. So yeah, we'll go.
He's such a great wrestler that was underrated when he was at his peak.
He's been underrated like most of his career.
Right.
I feel like, yeah.
I mean, like even like Goldust, he was still doing phenomenal work.
Yeah. So that is fair.
Goldust was creepy. Like
that was the point of it, though. It's supposed to be creepy.
Yeah, I'm watching it live at like 10 years old in the arena, watching Goldust go in with his hair going.
I can imagine weird, kind of gay Goldust when you were like 10 is like the most terrifying thing.
Oh yeah, that was super gay Goldust back then. Like he'd straddle his opponents and get like face to face with them.
I love that razor feud though; it's so good.
But when I was a kid, I wanted to be a wrestler, and I'm like, man, I hope I never have to wrestle someone like that.
Yeah.
Remind me when you do your own show. I got this wrestler I'm gonna book against you.
Ready for the Take It Home Award. This is the most popular finisher.
Vote again.
Oh, public vote for the old timer.
It's tie between Edge and Christian.
Tie between Edge and Christian. Fair. We'll give it to Edge and Christian as a tag team.
I guess it's fair.
So this is the most popular finisher of the year. The finisher that kind of we feel like meant the most to the overall kind of wrestling world this year. Our nominees. This is our other. We had 3 new awards this year. This is the second of the new ones. We have the House Call for Swerve Strickland, the Hidden Blade for Will Ospreay, the Tiger Driver 91, which is various wrestlers, but primarily Will Ospreay, the Busaiku Knee for Bryan Danielson, the Crossroads for Cody Rhodes, and the Super Spear by Braun Breaker when he gets all that momentum and hits the spear and like moves the ring.
Hurts my chest just thinking about it.
And I'm gonna give it to that super spear. I think it's the one that went the most viral this year, just all over the place. People talking about it every time he did it. The speed that he gets up to.
The ring moves.
Insane.
The ring moves.
So Jolka, is that yours as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Shane, what do you got?
It's the Tiger Driver 91.
Tiger Driver 91. Yeah, that's a very, very Shane pick. Yeah, that's.
Hey, you got it on your laptop, brother. The Sawakobashi Kawatawe.
I do. I'm learning. What was the public vote?
House Call.
House Call. That's a great one too. Next, we have the Return of the Year award. Every year in wrestling, we see big returns, so this goes to the best one. Our nominees this year: The Rock at the beginning of the year to set up that whole Cody storyline. Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. When MJF returned at Double or Nothing in the jean jacket and like vest situation. John Moxley returning with the whole Death Riders angle. And then Nigel McGuinness returning at All In. For this one, Return of the Year. Jolka, you go first.
I'm surprised CM Punk wasn't on that list.
It's automatically.
I wouldn't have picked him anyway.
He was kind of around most of the year. He was never gone for like more than like a month. You know
That's
what
I mean?
True. Who's your Return of the Year?
Surprisingly, I'm gonna go with not John Moxley. Fucking MJF.
MJF.
Yes, that was a great promo. I haven't heard a crowd that hot in a long time.
I loved the Triple H homage.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah. Let's see. Shane, who was your Return of the Year?
It is Nigel McGuinness.
That's mine as well. Yeah.
It's also public votes award too.
Nigel McGuinness. Nigel McGuinness is sweeping the public vote.
He won every single award he was nominated for.
Nice.
I think Nigel McGuinness is on here voting.
Yeah. Did Nigel McGuinness get a hold of the
Let's just say I have my methods.
He's got like 40 emails just trolling.
All 10 were Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah. Just Nigel McGuinness at different websites.
At AEW.
Nigel McGuinness at BrianDanielsonSucks.org.
Nigel McGuinness at Magic.com.
Yeah. All right. So, we got the public vote there. Next up, we have the Platinum Handshake Award. This goes to the best booker in all of professional wrestling.
You're going to love the public vote in this one.
Our nominees for the Platinum Handshake, we have Tony Khan booking AEW / sort of Ring of Honor, but this is AEW Tony Khan that's here. Triple H for main roster WWE, Shawn Michaels for NXT, Brett Lauderdale, who books GCW, and Gato, the booker for New Japan. Shane, this is your award, the Platinum Handshake, so of course you get to go first.
I was really tough for me. I really love NXT's did the women's division.
NXT Women's Division has been
men's
on fire.
Main roster, some great stuff. Kind of a down year for AEW, but down for AEW is still a much better year than most wrestling promotions could ever think of.
Mm-hmm.
And GCW's coming into my attention grabber for most of the year. So I was really torn between Shawn Michaels and Brett Lauderdale.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see the public vote went. So I'm going to give it to Brett Lauderdale.
You give it to Brett Lauderdale?
I will, yes.
All right. For me, it was a really hard pick because I didn't feel like anyone really stood out above the pack. I think they all just had pretty good years. I ultimately went with Tony Khan. That's probably just because the AEW style is the style of wrestling that grabs me the most. So I'm going to go with Tony Khan on that one. Jolka, who's your booker of the year?
I have to give it to Triple H because
absolutely fair.
He's doing a phenomenal job of recovering what Vince McMahon did to the company.
Yeah, the dumpster fire that was the last few years.
That
was Vince McMahon.
Like if I'm keeping in mind that like Vince could be booking this, it'd be so much worse. Yeah,
that is true.
The public vote was down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was we were gonna have a tie or Tony Khan winning by one vote for most of the time,
mm-hmm.
and then 9 and 10 came in. And they voted for the same person. I couldn't believe it. Brett Lauderdale won public vote.
Hey, GCW's been cooking.
You sure it wasn't Nigel McGuinness?
Well, the other 6 votes were Lauderdale at GCW.com. You want my one vote?
So, new tag team of the year is our next category. That is the best tag team formed this year. Our nominees are Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, The Conglomeration over in AEW, and Hate, which is Stardom, correct?
Yes.
A Stardom group. For this,
they're the big heels.
Yeah, for this one, I will go first. I'm gonna go Bianca and Jade. I think they had a great year, so that's my new tag team of the year. It wasn't a. I think a lot of years there's a runaway favorite in a category like this. Last year it was Better Than You, Bebe, MJF, and Adam Cole.
Right.
But this year was kind of a close contest. And I ended up going Bianca and Jade. Next, let's see, Jolka, who would you go with?
I wanted to go Bianca and Jade, but it also felt like the whole year where I was just waiting for them to fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio.
They've been really fun, too. Yeah. Thank God for stem cells.
The Conglomeration.
The Conglomeration from Shane. So 3 different picks there.
Sure.
And that's, I'm pretty sure it's a category. Yeah. Yeah, both previous years, Shane and I picked the same team. Better Than You, Bebe, and then Swerve in Our Glory. Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee. So,
and the public chooses Nigel McGuinness and Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel McGuinness and Tony Schiavone.
Nigel McGuinness and the corpse of Bryan Danielson.
All right, who was the public vote
The
here?
Conglomeration.
The Conglomeration. Vote. They were, like I said, very fun.
They're just a fun group, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like the idea of having Mark Briscoe, Ishii,
Orange Cassidy,
Willow Nightingale in the same group is just something that I would book in like 2K.
Kyle O'Reilly was there for a while.
He's still
technically
Titantron,
in it. Yeah, Rocky Romero.
There's some random guys. Like, this is what the AI makes in 2K24. So
yeah. Next award is the most iconic theme award. This goes to the best theme song of the year. Not just the best theme song, but the one that felt most important to the year. Felt like it really had a year. Nominees here for most iconic theme, we have Final Countdown, Bryan Danielson. They built that whole storyline around that song. Voices for Randy Orton had the great moment in France where the whole crowd sang it and it felt like that carried over. Elevated, Will Ospreay, and Is Cooking, which is The Rock's theme song that he brought back this year, his heel theme. Jolka, you're up first. What was the most iconic theme this year?
Ooh. I was holding out to hear Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Kingdom, I feel like had more of last year. I think it was much bigger last year.
yeah, it still didn't win.
Let me hear those one more time.
We have Final Countdown for Bryan Danielson, Voices for Randy Orton, Elevated for Will Ospreay, and Is Cooking for The Rock.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton Voices. Yeah, it had a great, like I said, great year with all the crowds singing that song.
Is Cooking is just tweaked a little. They always just take the original one and just tweak it just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Shane, what's your pick?
Final Countdown.
Final Countdown. That was also mine. I think them building a full storyline around a theme song is something you don't see a lot, or like a full marketing campaign for a storyline around it at least.
When it costs that much money to do, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So I also went with Final Countdown. What was the public vote?
Oh, we still Final Countdown as well. So
Final Countdown. All right.
We're big Europe fans in here.
Yeah. Next up, feud of the year. This goes to the best feud, rivalry, whatever you want to call it. For the year, our nominees are CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page, Toni Storm versus Mariah May versus Mina Shirakawa, the Terror Twins versus the Judgment Day, and Ali Ketch versus Effie. So for best feud, Shane, I'm going to go to you first. What are you giving best feud to?
Only because I've really seen it, bring in people who aren't wrestling fans back into wrestling. Ali Cash versus Zeffy.
Okay. It's been definitely the indie feud of the year. I can't even really name another feud that's been big on the indies.
See, we throw Mance Warner in there too. Like that's two-way feud now. It's
Come on. My feud of the year is going to be Punk McIntyre. That was just incredible. I was excited to see what was happening next every week on Raw.
That would be mine. That would be mine until Ali took a barbed wire bat to the back of Effie. So
yeah. What do you got, Joko?
CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. What was the public vote?
The public, they decided that they thought that the best feud would be Swerve Hangman. So
Swerve Hangman, fair. It was definitely the grossest feud.
it was the most
violent.
It was the most gnarly.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Junior Heavyweight of the Year award. This is the best male wrestler weighing in at 220 pounds or less, which is the New Japan qualification for a junior heavyweight. Our nominees are Chad Gable, Orange Cassidy, El Desperado, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and Carmelo Hayes. I'll go first on this one. I went with Mustafa Ali. I think he had the best year of any junior heavyweight this year. So he's my number one. Jolka, who was the junior heavyweight of the year?
Orange Cassidy.
All right, great pick. Shane, who did you have?
I had Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali as well. And then the public vote?
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy. All right, so we're trying to split down the middle between both those guys who had great years. Next up, we have the TV show of the year. This is the last of our new awards. This is the best weekly TV show. So Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision. That's what we're looking at. That's who we put in as the nominees. So for this one, Jolka, what was the TV show of the year?
Oh, that's Monday Night Raw. That's the gold standard for all of pro wrestling shows, I believe.
Raw was a very, very close second for me. Shane, who did you pick?
Bring the boom. It's Dynamite.
Dynamite. I also went with Dynamite, but Raw was very close. Looking back on the year, I think I was slightly more excited week to week to see Dynamite than Raw. Part of that probably comes from most of the year Raw being 3 hours, and that third hour kind of becomes a chore. But other than that, I think Dynamite is that's my number one. Next up, we have entrance of the year. This goes to the best single entrance of the year. So not like your whole body of work, just like one big entrance. We have Sting at Revolution with his sons. We have Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door doing was it the Hayabusa one? Yep. Swerve Strickland at Double Nothing, the Warriors entrance. Jey Uso at Backlash with just the whole crowd going insane. And Kings of the Black Throne at Full Gear being sang down to the ring by the band that plays their song. Shane, remind me, what's that band called again?
Dead Body.
Dead
Playing
Body.
the song Dead Body. Come on, it's there twice.
Yeah, I forgot. So Shane, we'll keep it with you. What was the entrance of the year?
Kings of the Black Throne. It's the one I've been asking for like multiple years. So come on.
All right. I am going to go with. I'm going to go with Sting at Evolution or Revolution. Having his sons out there with him. One of them as Great American Bash classic Surfer Sting. One of them as NWO Wolfpack Sting. I thought that was really, really cool. Such a cool entrance for Sting's farewell. So I gave it to that. Jolka, what would you say was the entrance of the year?
Oh, that's Jey Uso. Coming from looking at it like a point of view for the person coming out, he's probably got the best view of any entrance right now.
Yes,
coming in through the crowd.
They were yeeting and yeeting in France.
I love how much you hate that word.
Yeah. Next up, the Platinum Hot Dog Award. This is, of course, my big award. Goes to the best gimmick of the year because the Hot Dog and a Handshake is kind of our gimmick, and the Doggies is the gimmick of our award show.
Public vote was Sting, by the way.
Sting was public vote. I keep forgetting.
I always wanted to ask: did you guys shake hands while you were eating a hot dog? How did that come about?
We were just trying to come up with kind of insider wrestling.
Listen, it was either this or a Disco Inferno Pure Retrospective, man. You get what you get.
I did have a list of names, and one of them, as a joke, was the Disco Inferno Career Retrospective podcast.
I like what yours was. You're like, you get what you get podcast.
Yeah. And we just thought it kind of sounded cool. It's like that indie term of you're wrestling for a hot dog and a handshake. And
I always thought you guys were sitting in a diner eating a hot dog and you know what? I think that's the name.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, me and Jason are gonna when I go back home, we're gonna do that image. Don't you worry.
Yeah, he is from Chicago, so the hot dog plays in a bit. So the best gimmick award. This will go to our nominees here. We have Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Uncle Howdy, Timeless Tony Storm, the Scapegoat Jack Perry, the Patriarch Christian Cage, or Hangman Adam Page. I will go first here if I can find it. And I went with Tony Storm. Shane picked her last year. I went with Christian Cage last year, but I thought the Timeless Tony Storm gimmick just really hit full speed this year. And that was my pick. Jolka, who would you give the Platinum Hot Dog Award to?
Overall crowd response, Dominic Mysterio. He gets more heat than most anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah. Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Shane, your pick?
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm? Yeah, I think that's totally fair. The Timeless gimmick was incredible.
Public also went with Tony Storm as well.
Public went with Tony Storm. Next up, we're getting into what we call the Big Four. So, the first of those is Match of the Year.
Long one.
This has the most nominees. We have Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 18. Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay from Impact, January 14th. Samoa Joe versus Hook from Dynamite, January 17th. Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita from Revolution. Io Sky versus Bayley from WrestleMania. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania. Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay from Dynasty. Will Ospreay versus MJF from Dynamite, the match that went an hour for the international title. That was July 17th. Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson at All In. Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page at All Out. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood. Sari and Mayu Iwatani versus Chihiro Hashimoto and Vinny at Sariism Chapter 5. Konosuke Takeshita versus El Phantasmo in the G1 Climax. And Io Sky versus Utami Hayashishida at Summer Destiny in Marigold. Jolka, what was match of the year?
Well, I'm going to give it to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I believe that was only because that cage match was not on the list.
Which cage match?
The AEW cage match with the bricks and the staple.
That one was. Swerve versus Hangman Page. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Swerve versus Hangman Page is my pick then.
Okay.
That was match of the decade right now for me.
Yeah.
I have some companies for you to watch. Man, if you like stuff like that.
Shane, what's your pick for match of the year 2024?
It's the Joshi Women's Tag Team match.
Of course it is. Let me go copy and paste that because I can't spell any of
Sari, Mayu Iwatani, Shuhiro Hashimoto, and Benny.
All right. For me, it was Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson at All In. I don't think any match this year made me feel the way that made me feel. The worry deep in my heart when I thought Danielson was going to lose that match and retire. Just the way that match went, and then just the way I felt when Danielson won. Was something that honestly it felt the same way as when I was 10 years old watching Daniel Bryan win the world title at WrestleMania. So I think that's got to be it for me. It's Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson. Next up,
it's funny about Daniel Bryan's most famous world title match is when he lost to Sheamus, just kicked right to the chest.
I would say his most famous is probably WrestleMania 30 when he beat Orton and Batista.
Oh no, I was there for 28. It was.
What was the fan vote for match of the year?
It was Swerve Danielson at All In.
Swerve Danielson. Okay.
I love how he keeps flexing it too. He's like, I was there for 28.
Not really you care about it, yeah.
Next up, we have the Tag Team of the Year award. This goes to the best tag team.
I was wrong. It's all out.
It was all out. Swerve Hangman.
Yeah.
Okay. For this one, kind of a tough category this year. Tag team wrestling not at its highest this year, but we did still have a few standout teams. We have DIY, FTR, the Young Bucks, the Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, and Fraxium from NXT. Shane, you go first on Tag Team of the Year.
Fraxium.
All right, that is also my pick. They had a great run. Every Fraxium match was just a banger. What would you have?
Mine is DIY only because Motor City Machine Guns weren't on there.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. We felt like for a majority of the year they were kind of just, twirling their thumbs on the indies, just kind of going around here and there. You know what I mean? They weren't really doing anything big until like the end of the year, so we didn't put them in. But DIY had a great year. So
they absolutely did.
Public vote.
Fan vote was the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks. Yeah, they had a great year too. AEW Tag Team Champions for a long time. Next, we have the Women's Wrestler of the Year. Nominees for this one: Liv Morgan, Toni Storm, Sari, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Mariah May, Willow Nightingale, Mayo Iwatani, and Stephanie Vaquer. I'll go first here. Very tough for me. I ultimately went Toni Storm, but Roxanne Perez was the closest second. This was the hardest decision of the whole award show for me. So I went with Toni Storm for my Women's Wrestler of the Year. Jolka, who'd you go with?
Liv Morgan.
Hey, that's Pat McAfee and Michael Cole's pick. Shane, your pick?
Imagine having a great year as a wrestler in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing it everywhere you went, in a lot of places, while booking your own shows at the same time. It's Sari.
All right.
It's Sari.
All right, we'll go with Sari there. And that brings us to the big one. A Antonio Inoki Memorial Male Wrestler of the Year Award. This goes to the best men's wrestler this year. Our nominees are Swerve Strickland, Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, Gunther, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Boy.
So, Jolka, you get the last first pick here. Who is the male wrestler of the year?
Gunther.
Gunther. Awesome pick. He's had an incredible year. Shane, I'll throw it to you.
Swerve.
You know what? I also picked Swerve. For me, what most encapsulates Swerve's run this year is the 2-week time period where he wrestled. He had the most emotional match for me of the year with Bryan Danielson, and then just the craziest match I saw all year with Hangman Page. And that really sums up how great he was all year. He was just so perfect on the mic, in the ring. Everything he did was gold. So I'm going to go Swerve Strickland. Gunther was a great pick, though, too. Gunther had an incredible year. So those are... And the public vote?
Hey, vote was also Swerve.
Swerve Strickland. So there it is. Those were the 2024 Doggies. As in the... a lot of great categories, a lot of great winners. A great year in wrestling as it was. Now, tape up the light tubes, take the door off its hinges. It's time for Shane's GCW corner, and what a corner it will be.
All right. So you had some good big events. They had one in Phoenix. That was pretty fun. And they had one in L.A. Highest in the room, 3. Now let's see how far I can get away without mentioning the one man's name. Manly Reese, who I guess is now has a big fan in Italia, was there. He's going to start with Charlie Heat in a loss. Fuego del Sol, Sidney Akeem. The Garbage Daddies took care of business. Josh Barnett had his Bloodsport match. It's always fun. Wes Isaacs, Josh Barnett wins. Pero and Richard Holiday got creamed by Charles Mason. So, watch out for that to come Hammerstein. Los Desperados, and he had a good match against Juicy Finau and the Wolves Daddies, which of course Erez, Gringo Loco, and Chad Carville can have a good match. Ali Cash against Viperous. They're clearly still building something there with, I think, Dark Sheik get involved in there again. And Matthew Justice against Dr. Redacted kind of just came in and tore the goddamn house down.
When's he going to get to the big thing?
All right. Fine, we'll do it. All right. Matt Cardona took on Effie.
Yep.
In a pretty good match, all things considered, going up to this point. And then Matt Cardona has the belt, has the United Championship. He's going to hit Effie with it. And he's waiting. And something's obviously going to happen. He's waiting for a little bit too long. And this guy in a New York Yankees hoodie and a New York Yankees neck gaiter and hat comes in with a bat and smacks Cardona in the head. And he smacks Effie in the head. And he takes off the mask. And it's Chris fucking Jericho.
In GCW.
Get out of my company. Get out. The reaction I've seen online has been very mixed. Very mixed.
A lot of people going to bat for Ricky Starks.
Yeah, clearly, obviously. He wore an AEW shirt, did the whole "Hi guys" thing. So I don't know. This is 2 years ago. I loved it, But I just think Jericho has slowed down the ring to that point where it's not as exciting as it could have been.
No, it's definitely not. This is like if Scott Hall in like '99 showed up in ECW.
That actually happened,
Did it happen?
Yes, and it ruled.
Oh, okay. I was just making up something. I had no idea that happened.
that thing that you just made up, yeah, it happened and it ruled.
I don't know. I'm not loving this because it's Chris Jericho, and I just can't get myself excited for anything he does anymore.
This is Jolka's like best thing ever.
Yeah, I love watching him steam over Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I hope Chris Jericho appears more in GCW and more of the Japanese style wrestlings that Shane watches all over the internet.
GCW or Chris Jericho's Stardom run would go crazy.
Every new company you
Chris
put on.
Jericho just shows up in Tokyo Joshi Pro and just
in a women's promotion.
it just beats up Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not super excited for it. It's kind of,
but
like,
it builds the final battle.
do you think
so
the
that's
Ricky
fine.
Starks thing was all planned? Like what? No.
Ricky
This is them
Starks-
capitalizing on
Ricky
the
Starks
thing.
was legit. I think Willie Mack was legit because of the final battle.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're building off of the Ricky Starks thing. It kind of sucks for Ricky to me.
Mm-hmm. On to our favorite things of the week.
Sure.
All right. Those courses where I hand out the gold, silver, and bronze hot dog. Shane hands out the gold, silver, and bronze handshake. We'll get a 3 count from Jolka. We'll start at bronze handshake. What do you got this week?
Justice Redacted from Heist in Room 3. They tore the house down, man.
All right. What do you got for number 3, Jolka?
Chris Jericho appearing in GCW.
I told you.
All 3 of mine are going to come from the Dynamite we went to. My bronze is Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. That was the third best thing we saw. Number 2, silver handshake. All right, number 2, we got the silver handshake for Shane. What do you got?
I'm going to give it to Mariah versus Amina.
Okay. What do you got, Joka?
Also Jericho.
I thought about saying that. That's gonna go to Finn Balor's lower back after taking that power bomb.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. His lower back needs a shout
My
out,
silver was Mariah versus Mina plus the Tony Storm return, kind of the whole package. Gold handshake?
If we didn't go with Dynamite, I would have given it to Veggie Ventura. But he was doing his job good, so I'm kind of disappointed about
I wanted more time with Jesse.
that. I know. I agree. I'm going to give it to Ospreay versus Claudio.
I also gave mine to Ospreay versus Claudio. What was the best thing you saw this week, Joka?
Oh, god damn it.
Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, it was Saturday. I just had it in my head.
Cody, Kevin Owens, Gunther, McIntyre, Sammy, Jesse Ventura. Pat
There we go. I'm sorry. It was Charles Robinson.
Charles Robinson.
For taking the
Yeah.
most classic referee bump.
That was like I saw that come from a million miles away.
That's classic. The way he just threw his legs up and
Yep.
Honorable mention to the MJF Big Boom AJ stare down.
Yeah. All right. Lightning round. This is where I tell you guys what matches we're having this week, and you guys tell me on scale 1 to 10 how excited you are. Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus the War Raiders on Raw.
I got 5.
2.
All right. Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser for the IC title. That match before was for the tag titles,
8.
by the way.
3.
Damn.
Okay.
I know.
On Dynamite in the C2, we got Shelton Benjamin versus the Beast Mortos.
Sick, almost a sick accident. Oops, like an 8.
Yeah.
4.
Wow.
Will Ospreay versus Darby Allin.
A 6.
9.
All right. Mercedes Moné versus Anna Jay for the TBS title.
An 8.
Okay.
10.
10, yeah. On SmackDown, we have Andrade, Apollo Crews, and LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga.
A total 5.
3.
Carmelo
Bloodline's so old.
I love you, Solo.
Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Strowman again.
0.
Yeah, 0 on that.
Alex Shelley versus Johnny Gargano.
10.
7.
And Bianca and Naomi versus Candice LeRae and Nia Jax for the women's tag.
3.
That's a 0. If
All right.
I could go past 0, I would. Like,
Ty Dillinger 10 of the week.
It's your skill, brother.
Shelly and Gargano.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most exciting.
That's
for me.
that's a TNA match from like 2015. So
Yep. So yeah, if you want to listen to more of us, we have the TNA Final Resolution 2009 Classic Review. Just came out. Our next one out will be sometime around Christmas time. ECW Holiday Hell 1995. Of course, as I said, we will be taking the week off next week, so we will not have a regular episode, but we do have the ECW show pre-recorded, ready to release. Happy birthday, Mr. Brody Lee. Rest in peace to him. And that's all from us. So just remember to enjoy wrestling.
it's getting Royal Rumble season.